went out for a smoke. You hear me now? Everything okay? I need to do a report. Report this one, dude. Hello? Is it working now? I hope it is. OBS decided to die. Encoder error. Well. Let's try again. 904. 8. That's not right. I think I need to restart the game. Just give me a little moment. Black screen for a while. Have to restart my Moza BitHouse. I'm not gonna update it now. Okay. Yes, I know the Fuji Speedway is not working correctly. Okay. Let's try again. Now it seems to look like it should. Okay. This seems to be very good to drive. Again, it's not that brutal or very, very quick, but this feels like a race car. Definitely. I mean, they all do, but it's a bit too hard on the corner there. Yeah, way easier. Even easier than the Grifo. He says as he almost slides out of the corner. I like the way this engine sounds. You can hear the suction of the carburetors right behind your head when you go flat out. The engine sounds like it's broken on a certain revs. A bit over 230. Can we get... Yes, we can get 240. On the straight. And back on the power. Right about there. a little lockup on there. This is very... I was gonna say this is very easy to drive. And then I spun. Then I spun the whole damn thing. But yeah, it still stands. This is easy to drive. Let's do it. Easy and easy. Very grippy. Small and light, very nimble. This corner is still a bit of a mystery for me. Like, how do you drive this correctly? Well, don't do it with the first gear. Second gear is low enough. So this banked corner is, I don't really know what's the right line, but I'm trying to keep it a bit up here and then cut down. Like so. Oh yeah. This thing is way easier to get your hands onto than the V8 beasts. Very pleasant to drive. Considering this is from early 60s, it's very tame. feels very tame, at least to me. A little bit deep there. Doesn't matter. Light and nimble. And back on the power. And the last time, just open the power. Let's get back to the pits. Test the next one. Whatever that will be. Oh yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one. Fun one. Let's try to not crash the game again. 204.171 for the Porsche 904. That was a fun one. Still quick, but kind of easy to drive. Kinda. The Wheel of Legends. Is it lagged? Do I need to do this again? Well, it's a very... it's a very very random now because I can't even see. Corvette Transport. list. Grand Sport. Very professional list. Okay, the Corvette we find in here. Very different. Dick Thompson and a thick Guldstrand. That's a Sebring 12 hours. US RRC 66. Sebring 12. 95. Very nice looking liveries. Let's do the Roger Penske. Penske Chevrolet. 485 horsepower. Brake horsepower. Top speed of 281. This weighs under a ton. Okay. This thing is gonna be a riot. I'm just gonna say that out loud here. It's gonna be a riot to drive. We'll see how this works. That's a sound. A lockup. Fourth is the final gear, apparently. A lot of torque. You don't really need to rev it that high. There's a lot of power in the lower revs. Almost lost it there. Definitely lost it there. That was a classic mistake when sliding. Not that it's fast to slide, but it could be fun if I could do it. Apparently I can't. Oh shit. That's too deep. Damn it. It was going well, and I messed it up. This thing is surprisingly easy to drive. Like, yeah, you have to be very careful with the throttle, but it's very nimble considering it's an 60s Corvette. Like, yes, you have a lot of power, and if you overuse it, you are gonna spin like I have done. But just be patient with the throttle. There we go, full throttle. And this thing is surprisingly easy to drive. Also, it's fast. Corner is difficult. Oh, a little slide there. Almost lost it. That was a good one. This is challenging. Way more challenging than the Porsche, but I do like this. I like the power band. Like, there is a spike on the higher revs, but it just moves. On very low revs, you don't really need to rev it that high. It's just a lot of torque. That's why you need to be careful with it. It will kick out if you're too early on the throttle. Little slide back on the power. I think that's about as good as I can get. For now it is. Also, I do like most of the cars, actually pretty much all of the cars in this pack are just very race car. They're built to be race cars, and this actually looks like just well, kinda just looks like a regular C2 Corvette. Clearly based on one. It's not like the Ford GT is just on its own, and the Porsches are that as well. Like, not sure if there's an equivalent to the 904/8. This is clearly a C2 Corvette. Just a beefed up version. Little slide there. So this thing is loud. There you go. Corvette Transport. As I said, that thing is surprisingly easy to drive. My encoder doesn't like when I close the track. It's overloading it. That's why the stream might be a little stuttery. Hopefully nothing major. 202.205. So it is just a tad faster than the ISO Grifo. Grifo? Whatever. Still, the fastest car so far has been the benchmark Huracan. For GT, for now, is the only one under 2 minutes. But well, that's kind of a whole different ball game with that car. Where's my wheel? Wheel of Legends. What's next? Well, shit. Now, that would be Shelby Daytona Coupe, as it should be said. Actually, is it Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe? Well, it is Shelby Daytona Coupe in here. Surprisingly low amount of power. I thought this would be much more powerful. Let's pick the number 10 car from Le Mans 1965. So there's Tour de France. Fuji Speedway. 64 Le Mans. Number 9 car from the... We take number 10 from the... That's actually... Or Jack Sears, Dick Thompson, Alan Grant and Joe Schlesser. Schlesser. Bob Johnson, Tom Payne, Dan Gurney and Jerry Grant. That's just Dan Gurney. We're gonna take the number 10. Where's the Spa car look? I like this. Bob Bondurant. A Spa 500K. 1965. 391 horsepower. This should be quick. Should be. Also, this should be a bit of a riot, so we'll see. Am I gonna be able to keep this thing on the road? I remember as a kid I thought this car looks hideous because of the back end looks like this, but that's kind of the best thing about this car. It's just the weirdness of the early 60s. Also because this is basically a racing version of the legendary Shelby Cobra, so it is gonna be a riot. But I love this thing. Let's see if I can prove it by driving it well. Don't have high hopes. If I'm not sure, this not mistaken, it's 4 gears. Yes. Oh, the sound. This sounds very good. Let's go. Shelby Daytona Coupe. Benchmark time 1:51. We are not gonna break it with this one, but we can try. Second gear, I think. No, first. No, second. There's enough torque. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I love this thing. That was a bit too early on the downshift. Understeer. Tires are cold. The amount of revs. Over 7,000. I don't think I can go flat out, but I'm gonna try. Just about. Can we get it stopped? Yes, we can. And back on a power for the first actual lap. Oh, big lock up there. Too hard on the brakes. This car just loves to rev. That's why I love it. Bit of left foot braking before the corner. On the brake. Hard on the brakes. Third gear. Let's use the banking. And then just cut on the inside. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yes. I like this one. Like I knew I would, but I really do. It's not as much of a riot as I would think. Surprisingly easy, again. Oh yeah, you can definitely do that without lifting. That was a big lockup. A bad one. Very bad one. Tires did not like that one. Messed up the corner completely. God damn it, that was a fast one. That still was a fast one, 201. Oh, damn! I lost my composure. It was going so well. Okay. Let's do a bit of a slow outlap and try again. Damn, I like the way this sounds. That was better. A lot better on the brakes. On the power. There we go. That was not fast. I lost the back end for a little while there. Came a bit too hot on that corner again. Careful, careful. Patience, patience. On the power. There we go. You really have to be patient with these things. Like even this has just a tad under 400 horsepower, but it will get you if you're not careful and patient. Also, lockups are a big problem with old tires. Okay. For the fast lap. Almost lost it there. That was a stupid moment. Patience, patience, back on the power. There we go. Okay, let's not mess up this one. On the brake. There we go. Much better, much better. Sliding is fun, but it's difficult and it's not fast. Maybe a bit early on the downshift, doesn't matter. Find the apex. There, on the power. And let the V8 just scream. Hook it in. And on the power. There we go. That was a good lap. Two 0.36. I could go faster, of course. But I am gonna give each car kind of the same possibilities. It's gonna be 7 laps. It's the same with the every single other one. So, well, basically many of these later cars get some advantage because I know the track better now. Damn, I like this one. I mean, it is a weird looking thing. It is a race car from the 60s. Early 60s. But the way it revs is just... It does sound better on the inside camera than what it does out here. Oh yeah, much better. Just throw it in there. There we go. On the brake. A little lockup. Nothing major. That's a good one. Also a fast one. Didn't get it under 2 minutes, but very close. Very close to it. With this car I can also be a bit more consistent. It's not as rowdy as you might think. Yeah. I think that would actually be a good one to stop to, but we are gonna go one more. What does the Wheel of Legend give us this time? Let's see. Or not, because it's not showing anything. Another Porsche 906E. So this one. After the victorious and race-inspired Porsche 904 Carrera GTS in 1964 to 1965. Newly appointed Ferdinand Piech, grandson of Ferdinand Porsche, at the helm of a now more dedicated racing department, was ready to build a more purposefully built race car than the heavy 904. In what world is 600 kilos heavy? Well, this is lighter. That's the 904. 690. This is over 100 kilos lighter. Purposefully built race car than the heavy 904 when facing the Ferrari 206 Dino. To enter the racing class Group 4, Porsche needed to build 50 race cars within a year according to the rules. This gave us in 1966 the Porsche 906, also referred to as the Porsche Carrera 6. Carrera. Porsche 906 was to be the last legal road-going Porsche race car until the 1996 and 1998 Porsche GT1. Lotus suspension components were used and street-legal 15-inch wheels were fitted, but their 5-bolt design didn't help when needing to change tires during the race. Sculpted for the first time in a wind tunnel. So this is a little bit newer. This is newer model than the 904 that we drove. Let's pick the Targa Florio 1967. Or 66. Let's pick the 67. Luigi Taramazzo and Giulio Bona. 2 Italians. Yeah, this is gonna be the last car for today. So about 7 laps with a Porsche Carrera 6 906. Seems to rev a bit higher. That's a view. Like a tub on the wheels. On wheels. I do like the sound. You can hear the carburetor suction sound. The tachometer is weird. I mean, rev meter. Very weird. Oh yeah, this is very planted. Messed up my footing there. Okay, this stops like an actual race car. Surprisingly. yeah, you can leave the braking much later in the Porsche. A bit too hot on the corner there. A bit understeer on this corner for some reason. The back end is a bit squiggly on the braking, I see, when the point of mass goes forward. The back end kinda loses grip, so you do have to be wary of that under heavy braking. But all in all, this is very controllable. Even easy, some would say. Kind of like a Porsche race car, I guess. Too much braking on this corner. Understeer. Yeah, you can really just open the power, it's not gonna spin out. Well, it can, but it's not likely to do that. That was a bad lockup. Almost lost the back end there. It's a difficult corner because there's the bump, the hill. Easy to get it wrong over there. Slide the car. There we go. Little baby slide there. But this is quick. Much more sophisticated than the Shelby, definitely. Also, this is easier, so it's kind of obvious. Way more sophisticated race car. You can kind of see on the braking the back end goes a bit light. It starts to spin. So you have to be aware of that under braking. Even there you can see it get a little squiggly. A little slide there. Now careful with this one. Maybe a bit too early on the brakes, but it is easy to overshoot this corner. Back on the power early to get it turned. I don't think I can go under 2 minutes in this car, but this is very drivable, manageable. But still fun, don't get me wrong. I like the raw power of the V8 machines, but it is fun to drive something fast and nimble. Like the 906 here. Too hard on the brakes on there. Again. I don't trust the car. It's gonna take some work to get on that level. Little tap on the brake, throw it in. Oh, yep. The back end wants to slide out. On the brakes. And on the power, a little bit deep there. I lost some time there on the squiggle. A bit later on the brakes this time. Still early. I don't trust the brakes, but this thing is very light, so it is quick. Stops quickly. Slowly getting used to Riverside. He says, and also almost spins the 906. That was not as quick. I think that was better. Felt like it. This section is still very difficult for me. The long tightening corner. Yeah, it's not gonna be as quick. That was better. I think even 4th gear, I don't need... I think I need to drop to the 3rd gear here. What a machine! Oh yeah, this is a flat 6, definitely. You can see the intakes. That is an intake of a flat 6 engine. As it should be in a Porsche. It kinda sounds like a modern car. It's a bit more rattly than a modern Porsche, but the sound is there. Kinda similar. I mean, not kinda, it is very similar. There we go, Porsche 906. What a car. I mean, really, I do love the V8 monsters, but it is good to have some variety. This is very different than what the Shelby Daytona Coupe is. And I like that. $201. $201.294. So this is 3 seconds faster than the 904. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. It's been a little while. Technical difficulties in this, well, double stream, because the stream decided to die midway. But well, we got it done. We're gonna continue from this. I'm not really sure when. We'll see. But we are going to. Also, you can see these streams on YouTube. I should actually link the... I'm gonna link the YouTube channel into my Twitch. Into my Twitch channel, so you can find it there. But well, you can find these later on YouTube. Yeah, that will be it for today. I'm sweating. It's it's hot in this room, and the handling of these cars is kind of a workout. I like it. It's been a while since I've been driving sim racing, any kind of sim racing, so better late than never, I guess. Also, Riverside, I like the track. It's definitely a challenge for me. I can see that it's not an easy track to drive, but I like it. Also, I like these cars, every single one of them. If I was to say what was my least favorite out of these, I think the Lotus was my least favorite. Definite favorite was a Shelby Daytona Coupe. That's always a good choice. But these are all very good. Nicely made mod cars. The amount of detail, the amount of everything, the amount of information about these cars. Also, there's some very bizarre things, like the Maserati 151. And of course, what I drove earlier, the ISO Grifo. This is a bizarre thing, but I like it. Not bad at all. Out of all the GTs we got to drive the latest. There's the Mark 1 there. And the Mark 2 we got to drive the Mark 4. Also there's the Lola here, Lola T70, which is basically a Ford, if I'm not completely mistaken. Isn't this based on Ford GT70? Oh yeah, well, like the GT40 T70 Coupe used a mid-mounted American V8 in thoroughly European chassis. Oh, it's a European chassis. Well, maybe we get to try that thing next time. I'm gonna keep the wheel and we're gonna continue out from this later. I'll be announcing my streams in Instagram as normal, so I don't have a schedule yet. Maybe I should make one, but for now my life is kind of weird, chaotic. We'll see. Maybe I will make some kind of an actual schedule next year. But yeah, thanks for being here, thanks for lurking, thanks for watching. I will see you later. And I will link the YouTube channel on my stream, my Twitch channel, so you're gonna find it there if you like to watch these streams later. Okay, that will be it. Have a good day. Goodbye.